Welcome to the New Jersey Morning Show. I'm Cara DeFalco.
And I'm Lisa Marie Falbo. So the holidays are a time of celebration, and we have lots to be grateful for as we close out our first year of the New Jersey Morning Show.
And man, what a year it has been for news in the Garden State. From the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic to our heated gubernatorial race, there was no shortage of topics to cover.
It's really cool to talk to you now as probably the Republican candidate for governor.
Well, listen, this is a very exciting development. I can't remember in my lifetime when we had, for all intents and purposes, an uncontested Republican primary to go up against an incumbent Democratic governor. So I'm very happy for the Republican Party, and I'm very particularly excited for the voters of New Jersey. We've got a 10-month one-on-one here with Phil Murphy.
What do you think is the number one issue?
Well, certainly the administration's handling the pandemic. Phil Murphy's policies as it relates to what's gone on in our nursing homes, what's gone on Main Street with mom and pop shops. So those are two of the key issues, his handling of the pandemic. And we're seeing it right now, too, with the administration's handling of the rollout of the vaccination.
Jack, thank you so much for joining us today. We so appreciate it. Once again, Jack Ciattarelli running for governor of New Jersey this year. Thank you again for your time.
Guys, great to be with you. Looking forward to next time.
We have been talking about the Bruce Springsteen Super Bowl ad, and we have, it's called The Middle, where it calls on Americans to unite. Now, some people absolutely love the message, and of course, others just love Bruce. Other Republicans and Democrats are both panning the ad. So we have Republican Matt Rooney from the New Jersey conservative news site Save Jersey. So tell us, what did you think of the ad?
Well, you know, the message of the ad itself is great, but as with everything else in life, you have to look to the context. And the gentleman, the boss, that Jeep decided to deliver this message is one of the nastiest partisans right now in the entertainment culture. That's not the kind of person that you should pick to then turn around after the election's over and urge everybody to come together by buying a Jeep.
John, what did you think of the middle ad, the Jeep ad from the Super Bowl?
I was frankly a little confused by it. Were they trying to tell us buy a Jeep because Bruce Springsteen likes them? Were they trying to tell us buy a Jeep because of a middle? It was, I thought, a muddled message. Plus, you know, I think everybody likes the concept of the middle, but very few of us have exactly the same definition of what the middle is. So it's a nice talking point. Everybody should come to the middle. But your middle and my middle are not the same middle.
So ironically, I think we just hit the middle because I feel like the two of you kind of had a similar answer where it was, you know, what is the middle and what is the message of this commercial? Could it be, and
only,
I guess
only when Mercury is retrograde can Matt Rooney and I have exactly the same opinion. Because
it was bound to happen eventually, John.
Infrequently do we have the same opinion.
It has been an unbelievable few days in New Jersey. Widespread flooding and damage still crippling parts of the state. Laura Jones is live in Lambertville this morning. Laura, we know there's been a lot of flooding damage. What have you been seeing?
Okay, I'm right along the Delaware River, right at the bridge that connects Lambertville over to New Hope, Pennsylvania. The river crested last night around 7:30, so it should start to recede. You probably can't see it, but there are trees coming down, entire trees that have been flowing down the river. One's kind of stuck under the bridge. But throughout the community, we have power outages. We have homes that are flooded. We have so many businesses that have been impacted.
Our homeowners, towns, and businesses will need a great deal of support in the wake of this storm, and we will work tirelessly with our federal partners to meet that need.
And then there was that tornado that moved across New Jersey Wednesday, left a path of destruction. Take a look at this video. It's an incredible thing to see. This is the turnpike near the Burlington-Bristol Bridge. Look at that. In Mullica Hill, multiple homes were destroyed. That's where we find our Gerald DeAmbra, who is in the neighborhood where several homes were severely damaged. Severely damaged might even be an understatement, Gerald. I mean, some of these homes were leveled.
Yeah, these homes are leveled. I mean, half of the home right over here to my left is completely gone. I'm going to show you that in just a minute, but it is getting really, really busy here in the area as there are tons of recovery teams. There is already construction beginning behind me, and I just want to show you some of the damage up close. And keep in mind, it's really sunny here, so let me know if you're unable to see this. But take a look. The entire half of this house right next to me is gone. Trees are down, fences are down. And then if I just pan right over to the right here, houses are completely untouched on the left and on the right. But this center area of the community here seems to be right where the tornado went through. And you can see these houses here. It is a really, really tough situation out here. You can see a lot of companies have brought in food and water for the crews who are working here. It is really, really quite a sight to see. It's not something that you really ever expect to see here in New Jersey. I mean, this is something that we're used to seeing in other parts of the country. It's not something we're used to seeing in our state. And but the good news is that work is underway here. It looks like they're going to make some progress here, at least initially, cleaning up some of the damage, and we'll keep an eye on it and see how things change over the day. Back to you guys.
As we were talking about the variant, the Delta variant, it accounts for more than 83% of the COVID-19 cases that we're seeing. So a lot of people have questions about vaccines, questions about testing. Are we over testing? What does this mean? So joining us now is the CEO of Totus Medical, Gerald Commission. And Gerald, it's so good to see you. We're seeing a spike in the Delta variant. What's causing this? What does it mean?
COVID has mutated, and the Delta variant is a strain that is about twice as transmissible, which means, every time it enters a cell, it creates twice as many viral particles. The challenge is, of course, it enters the cells many, many times. And so instead of it just being, having twice as much virus, it's really exponential. So instead of having, X virus, you will end up with 1,000 X virus after, 2 or 3 days. And that's really what we're finding. There's so much more virus. That's why it's more transmissible. That's why it's easier to catch it and easier to spread it.
How is your company, Totus Medical, helping in the fight against COVID-19 and all these new recent unfoldings with the Delta variant?
So really, we have 2 areas that I think we have a big push. One, if you're vaccinated, the question is, how many antibodies do you have in your system that can compete against the virus in order to protect the cells? And that's really the question, the FDA was asking yesterday with the immunocompromised people. You get the vaccine, you think you're okay, but in fact, you may not be because you're not producing enough antibodies. You may need an extra booster shot. So we have that test to allow you to know how many antibodies you have in your system, so you can make some decisions as it relates to boosters.
Now, how often should people get tested? Because you start to maybe even overthink this, like, well, if I got tested every day, I wonder if this variant is going to show up. What can you tell us about that? When you should get tested and what it all means?
Sure. Well, CDC guidelines tell you, you should get tested when you're symptomatic. Obviously, because so many people are asymptomatic, there was early on a push to have a lot of unvaccinated people get tested, and they said, vaccinated people didn't really need to get tested. I think that guidance is probably going to change because we're seeing so many cases of people who are vaccinated actually getting infected with the Delta variant. So, our view is, you need to test based on your risk. If you're out, if you're meeting people, if you're unmasked, you should be tested, reasonably often, just like you were before, until we get a handle on this, until we get a handle on, how many antibodies actually protect you. And so you can make, more informed decisions about what your level of risk is. I think right now we're still in an area where there's so little knowledge.
Now, for those of you who have followed New Jersey politics this week and who has not, Governor Phil Murphy has been declared the winner by the Associated Press, making him the first Democratic governor in more than 4 decades. Let's bring in now political reporter Laura Jones as well as Senator Bucco to discuss the election. And Senator Bucco was reelected on Tuesday, so congratulations to you, Senator.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here.
Now, let's just start off. What's the big takeaway from this election?
Well, listen, I think people showed at the polls on Tuesday that they're sick of the nonsense. They don't support this governor's progressive agenda, and they want him to get to work and start doing what he was elected to do 4 years ago, and that is make the state run effectively and efficiently.
All right, Laura, now we have our next guest as we continue the conversation on election results and coverage of the election itself. Joining us now, Frank Cipolla, who spent more than 40 years in radio and TV news business. So we're talking about this election. I mean, and it was, man, we were, and we still are kind of, holding on to our seats here. What happened?
Well, a couple of things. First of all, the Assemblyman a moment ago hit it right on the head. I think more than Murphy having a hard time winning was Sweeney getting knocked out by a truck driver who spent about $10,000. You don't go into those races if you're the Senate president and you're a mover and shaker and think you're going to lose. That to me is the big shocker. Number two, I think a story that's being totally ignored is that polling is no longer accurate. I mean, we can go back to 2016. We had Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump. I mean, I think the last time I checked the poll there, Hillary was supposed to win, 83% chance of winning, Trump 17%, and Trump won. We go back just a couple of years ago, the race in Florida, 6 of the 8 polls had the Democrat ahead of Ron DeSantis, and Ron DeSantis wins. And then we have polls here in New Jersey where Murphy was leading between 4 and 8% going into Election Day, and he ekes out a win. So, I mean, I think the big story again this year is the polling was off. It was way off. And Murphy, he should thank his lucky stars that he eked this out.
Wow, there was no shortage of headlines.
No, it's been a while. It was like 2020 was the weirdest year ever, and then 2021, it was really like a continuation of.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like it never quite stopped.
No.
I mean, COVID obviously is the thing that has dominated the news for the last 2 years at this point. But 2021 brought us the vaccine. It brought us the reopening of businesses. And obviously, how do we negotiate all of those things? No playbook for any of this, but we got there.
Yeah. No shortage of controversy with those things, though.
Yes, of course. Everyone's got an opinion.
Of course. But I think the gubernatorial race, too, in New Jersey, I mean, nobody thought it was going to be close. And it was right to the wire.
Not only to the wire. What did we wait? A week, 2 weeks for
the results,
to come? I mean, I leave it to New Jersey, right?
Of course. Of course.
We would always have to do something along those lines. And then, just politics in general, I mean, continues to be, of course, local Jersey politics are always, we talk about that all the time with Laura Jones and how, we so reflect the nation and the nation kind of reflects us. For a small state. We kind of carry a lot of weight.
Yeah.
But just national politics too. I mean, some of the stuff that's been coming out of Washington is like, what is going on?
Well, the cool thing is, we'll toot our own horn here a little. So, the show started in January of 2021.
Yeah.
And so many state politicians on the local level, on the state level. We had so many guests on the show. We even had Jack Ciattarelli come on.
Yes, we had a gubernatorial candidate.
So, we are so thankful for all of these people. Senator Anthony Bucco. I mean, the list goes on and on that came on here, supported us, continue to support us. So thank you so much for that.
Yeah. And recognized us as a platform worthwhile. So, that's, we certainly appreciate that. And we're happy to provide that for everyone as well.
It shows that we fill a need.
Yes, we do.
And
yes, we
that
do.
feels nice.
Yeah, we like to, as 2 Jersey girls, we like to, help our fellow statespeople out. Absolutely.
So the only thing wilder than the headlines in 2021 was the weather. From nonstop winter storms to Hurricane Ida, our meteorologist Mike Favetta was plenty busy.
Wait until you see what we got next. It's Mike Favetta.
But like you've never seen him before.
He's
Mike Favetta, like you've never seen him before. Very good, Lisa Marie. Welcome back.
Near Disney Springs. Mike, I would ask how the weather is, but I think it's pretty obvious.
The weather is pretty amazing, especially after the insane heat that we had just a few days ago down here. But it's cooling off a little bit, and I hear it's chilly back up in New Jersey.
A bit nippy.
We started off talking about the weather and the crazy snow that is falling again here in New Jersey. So we got to take him to task. Meteorologist Mike Favetta joins us this morning. Hey, Mike. What the heck is going on?
You look so good and chipper and awake. I would be asleep at my desk if I were you.
It takes a lot of caffeine, a lot of coffee to get it through. We had more than 9 inches of snow
out toward Pittman and Sewell. So those are some pretty big jackpot totals there. We had some other locations here in New Jersey, like in Middlesex County. If you're joining us from there, nearly 20 inches of snow for you. That was impressive. But I think the jackpot is up in Morris County, up in Lisa and my neck of the woods. Mount Darlington, nearly 3 feet of snow. It's hard to convey just how serious an event it was. But regarding how much weather we had just in the last 48 hours, it really breaks not only all records, but all anticipations and expectations of just what the weather can do. So we wanted to start off today with a little bit of information regarding what's happening with the climate, why we've had so many of these extreme weather events with Henri just 10 days ago, and now with Ida's remnants falling here in New Jersey. So we'll start off with how these downpours have been coming in heavier and harder just in the last few years. In fact, you see here the map of the U.S. in the Northeast, 55% increase in the heaviest precipitation events. And this is a change from 1958 to 2016. So a lot of the energy in the atmosphere due to climate change, due to the atmosphere warming, and due to the atmosphere being able to hold more water, well, if the atmosphere can hold more water, it can certainly drop more water on top of New Jersey. And that's exactly what happened with the more than 3 inches of rainfall that happened in a 1 hour period between 9 and 10 o'clock tonight, or last night on Wednesday night.
Let's bring in meteorologist Mike Favetta and get a check of that Jersey for a good day for digesting.
Absolutely. Great day for maybe taking a little stroll and getting some shopping done. And we've got a boutique forecast for you right here. I should call it a bespoke forecast based on your mall of preference. We've got you covered here. Yes. So John, our weather producer intern, does such a great job with these graphics, and he went and compiled a little shopping bag for each one of the NJ On Air morning show hosts. So you've got Lisa Marie, Paramus, perhaps, maybe your mall of choice, Freehold for Kara, Woodbridge Center Mall for Mike, and Cherry Hill for Laura.
Ladies, thank you for having me on. I want to say something. I'm a big fan of the show, and I'm not just saying that. And some people go to their smartphone in the morning to get the weather, or they watch their local station in New York or Philadelphia or News 12. I wait for Mike Favetta to give me the forecast.
Is he not the best?
On top of it. And I like his recommendation today about the hot holiday lattes at Starbucks. I put a little vodka in mine. It gets my day going.
That's a good way. I don't necessarily disagree, Frank. Man, that weather was incredible. Joining us now, Mike weighs in on some of his favorite weather stories from 2021.
And there were many. There were so many. You know, you think about the extreme weather. I remember, Lisa Marie, you fearing that you'd be caught in a snowstorm on your way to deliver your baby.
Yes, I was. But thank God, it was so crazy in February. And then once the calendar hit March, the storms kind of went away.
They typically do. You know, when we get so much warmth that usually mid-March, when the sun angle really starts to go quickly higher in the sky, temperatures warm dramatically, and that, you know, decreases our threat of snow events every year. But February was one to remember. Started out with that big blizzard on February 1st. Not technically a blizzard, but certainly felt like one with that 52-hour-long snowstorm. It started snowing in Trenton, New Jersey, 2 days. And then 2 days later, it piled up to almost 3 feet of snow up in Sussex County, and it was snowing for a solid 2 days across many places in New Jersey. So the big snowstorms were certainly one, and we were keeping you up to date here on NJ On Air. But I think the extreme weather in general was certainly very momentous, considering following that very busy winter season, we had some big extreme weather events such as the tornadoes that spawned as a result of these tropical systems working their way north. Yes, Henri and Ida were big weather events in terms of flooding. We had so many flooded areas here across the state. Who could forget the baggage claim of Newark Airport going underwater, where so much heavy rainfall happened in a short amount of time, the lower level of Newark Airport flooded inside the building. So even roads by me up in Morris County that I've never seen flood in all my life living up here were underwater, and it was a year to remember in extreme weather events. And it kind of goes to show how these big extreme weather events are not only becoming more frequent, but they're becoming bigger, with bigger downpours, with bigger snowfall events. And I'm sure that with all the warm weather that we saw this past month in December, we'll likely have more energy available for these storms to kind of supercharge themselves going forward into January and February this year. So I'm sure this winter will also be another instance of having more big weather events here across the state. Likely going to see that, especially as we head into the rest of the winter season here in New Jersey.
Mike, what do you think with you were talking about kind of having warm energy or extra energy, sort of in the atmosphere. Do you anticipate it being or becoming more difficult to do your job basically and predict the weather?
Well, what's great about how technology has evolved these days is we're using some of the greatest technology that you probably see on network television, where they have, the $250,000 weather computer systems. That's now accessible to the everyday person, to student meteorologists, and to those that forecast professionally like myself. So I think it makes it easier for, the viewer at home, for those watching NJ on air, to kind of get a better sense of what's going to happen weather-wise in their neighborhood and in New Jersey going forward, because we can show more of those visualizations, more of those, weather phenomena that, you see me drawing here on the screen and kind of pointing out certain things.
Yes.
Yeah, that makes it a lot easier to communicate the threats of certain weather events, but also to explain the weather. So the technology makes it a lot easier going forward, even when the proverbial S hits the fan when the winter storms come rolling in.
So I know that there's so many different models for you to study, right? And then you have to study those models and then draw your own conclusion.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a forecast over the past 365 days that you are proud of nailing?
I think we're regarding how when we do our show live on Friday, and those weather graphics are produced by our amazing weather intern, John Rocco, who does a fantastic job of making some really nice graphics. You've seen the holiday graphic, the holiday shopping graphic. That was all John's idea. I mean, he does some really great work. And while he uses a lot of these weather models to help us forecast, these complex forecasts sometimes at Weather Prep, it's sometimes difficult to go 6 or 7 or even 8 days out to make that 7-day forecast and be relatively accurate, because somebody could be watching the NJ On Air show maybe online on our website a few days later, and you'd want that forecast to match, especially, 5 or 6 days out. So sometimes there is a challenge, but specifically, I think to, kind of succinctly answer your question, the spring forecasts where you get these nice prolonged, warm stretches of weather in late March and in early April, those are not only fun to forecast for, because it kind of gets everybody out of the winter blues, but it also is quite challenging to forecast. And it's fun when you nail those challenging forecasts a whole week away.
Yeah, that's great. Well, Mike, we are so appreciative of you and everything that you do here for the show. Thank you so much, and happy 2022.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Yeah. So, Lisa, we are not done reminiscing about the last 365 days. When we come back, we showcase some of our favorite lifestyle moments here on the show.
First, make sure to check out all of our decorations on set. They're provided by our friends at Just Jersey. Check them out at justjerseygoods.com. And you can connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We'll keep you updated on who is going to be on the show and much more. Be sure to check us out and click follow.
The American Lung Association invites you to join us outside in 2021 for our Fight for Air Climb events. Now more than ever, we need you in the fight for clean air and healthy lungs. Let's go outside and climb, because every step counts. Visit us at lung.org.
Swing the hips. Oh boy, they weren't kidding. Whoop.
looking for a gold crown.
Sure. So you say you're helping people through. How are you doing that?
Welcome back to the New Jersey Morning Show. Happy New Year's Eve, everyone.
Yeah, so Lise, I think I can speak for all of us here at the New Jersey Morning Show when I say that this show is not work. It is a lot of fun. And man, do we get silly at times. Check out some of our favorite oddball moments that we've had on air.
And now that is pow, passion, opportunity, and work. Let's take
Chef Jay, wait, bend down all the way. I gotta see the face for the bite. Oh man.
Lord,
Yeah.
Lord.
I don't know if anybody else can hear my stomach rumbling, but I haven't eaten breakfast yet.
Oh.
And Chef Jay happens to be a neighbor, so I'm pretty sure I'm coming to your house in about 30 more minutes.
Come on, baby. Come on and get it. This is scrambled eggs and corn and bacon.
Chef, bend down.
As you talk to us, Chef.
Come here.
I'm sorry?
Put your elbows on the counter. Let me see.
Yeah, we want to see your face. There you go.
There he is.
Oh, I like this shot. Pow.
I like this shot as well. Yeah, this is better now because now I can see your face.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I wish I had somebody to help me adjust it so you can see. But you know, with this COVID, we're all doing the best we can.
I know. It's hard to be a one-man band for sure.
You know what? But I gotta keep doing it. I gotta keep pushing.
Welcome back to the New Jersey Morning Show. Surprise!
Welcome to ancient Rome.
And let's bring in Mike Vivetta so we can see his costume.
I'm your leader,
Obviously.
Caesar
Yes.
Augustus.
Oh, that looks so great on you. I just regret that the gladiator head was sold out everywhere.
That's okay. That's all right. I got to keep my hair all nice for the rest of today. So.
Exactly.
He's gotta maintain his boyish good looks.
But what else could we be than Roman gladiators and goddesses?
I don't know. I mean, after you, Kara, coming back from Italy, we had Lisa Marie and I discussing the time when my Italian teacher left me in Rome as a 14-year-old at the Coliseum.
My favorite story ever. Now, you said you had the opportunity to meet him, and he's shorter in person than you anticipated.
Totally. But I think that's a thing with Hollywood actors. I think they're like larger than life because you see them on the big screen, obviously. But in
Right.
person, they're like teeny tiny people.
But I think, and you and I are both petite. I think that's like something that just comes from like trying to make the shot look even in general when you're on a screen. So, I mean, people often, when they recognize me out somewhere, it's usually the first thing out of their mouth is like, oh, you're so much smaller than I anticipated. So it's like,
thanks.
That's kind of thing. But what do you do you agree, Paul Rudd? I don't know about sexiest man alive, but he's attractive.
Yeah, he's definitely attractive. He's got a good vibe, obviously. He's very classy. He's kept out of trouble all these years. He's a Hollywood legend at this point.
He really
been
is.
around forever.
He really is.
But is he my type? No.
Not
How
doing it
about
for
you?
you. Like I said, I think he's attractive, and he's he's cute. But I don't know that sexy is the word that I would use. I think
Yeah.
like there's something about that particular describer that doesn't quite fit. But good on him. You know what? Because people from Jersey are sexy and beautiful.
they're the
and
sexiest.
Of course, obviously.
So besides Mike Vivetta, who would you pick the sexiest man alive?
Oh man, way to put me on the spot. Damn.
Right now.
Right now?
I got one.
Who?
One that just came to mind right now. Do you know who Jimmy Garoppolo is?
Oh, damn, I know the name. And I
The
don't
quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers.
I'm going to have to Google him now.
He's
beautiful.
He's absolutely stunning. this kid, right? He's a kid at this point.
You know what? There's a new actor, and now I can't remember his name. I saw him in a Netflix show, and he's gorgeous. He's dark, and he's got these bright blue eyes. I think his name is Aaron Pierre.
Okay,
Or something
I don't know.
along those lines.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But we have to Google
Well,
him.
we're going to have to do our own list.
You know what? Maybe on social media, we'll put up Jimmy Garoppolo versus what's his name?
Aaron Pierre.
Aaron Pierre.
And maybe Paul Rudd. And we
And
want to
Mike
hear
Vivetta.
from you. And Mike Vivetta. And we want to hear from you. We want to know who your sexiest man alive is. Absolutely. I don't know, Lisa. I think one day we're going to be unveiling a statue of you somewhere.
Oh, jeez. It'll be slumped over like this, sleeping. 'cause
half
that's how I
asleep.
feel right now. Favorite go-to Christmas movie is?
I love all of these, but just because it's not on there, I think the better question is Die Hard a Christmas movie? And I say yes.
Can I admit something right now?
You've never seen it.
No. I've never seen it, so I can't weigh in.
Where's Mike? Someone get me Mike.
No, if Mike will yell at me for this next thing. I've never seen The Godfather.
What?
It was boring to me.
Michael.
I mean, I was going to be with you on the first one, but the second one's inexcusable.
No,
I'm
I
sorry.
tried.
They sent me home after 4 days because they needed the bed. They were out of rooms. They were putting people in the hallways already.
Oh, I'm sure.
Wow. I was hoping they were kidding me when they told me that the man in the bed next to me was from Wuhan, China. That can't even happen to a person, but it happened to me. I'm so happy to be on with you. You guys put out great energy. And you know what? That's so important these days. People need positive energy. And you two just radiate positive energy.
Oh, thank you.
I'm a very big believer in that. And I'm so happy to be on with you. Thank you for having me as a guest.
All I know is every time I come to work, I laugh.
Yes.
That's
a lot of laughs here.
A lot of laughing. And I think I love when we joked about over the summer all going to your house for a pool party.
And it never happens. I'm so sorry.
I know we
about
need to get on that for 2022.
You know what? Maybe in January it'll continue getting warm and I can open my pool really early and we can all come over and go swimming.
Hey, there we go.
Yeah.
I'm sure there'll be some 70-degree days again this December and January, wrapping up the month. We've really got some funny moments, especially when we do our little chats after some interviews. You know, I listen through the little earpiece here, and so sometimes, you know, I don't hear every word, or I'll be preparing a forecast for preparing the graphics for what's next in the weather segment. I remember there was one time I was half listening, and you both alluded to if I asked me a question if I like Britney Spears, and I just went, yeah, because they teach you in interning, and I never technically went to broadcasting school, so I kind of learned on the job, but I was always taught by my mentors to always agree with the anchors, no matter what the case, even if something is completely wrong, and if somebody is issuing this, asking me a ridiculous question about a forecast, just always agree with the anchors. And so in those coaching years, I apply that to your question when you're like, hey, Mike, do you like Britney Spears? And I went, yeah, of course. And I had no idea what I agreed to. And I was kind of confused at the moment when you both went, oh my goodness, you do. And I'm like, yeah, did I just, what did I agree to?
What did I just agree to?
And then I think that popped up in an Instagram moment. So the algorithm for Instagram for 2021 Best Of actually found that clip and shared it as being one of our funniest moments. As to
one of our finest moments, I'm sure.
What am I agreeing to? So that was a little fun. Yeah.
That's hysterical. I can't think of one favorite funny moment that comes to mind. I guess there's been so many.
There it really is just so many. I think my other favorite thing that we just always, and I can't think of one specifically, but the thing that we always come back to and wind up laughing about it is the fact that we're all Italian American, we're all Jersey born and bred. Like we just all kind of have this, so like when we reference like a super Italian American slang word or something like that, like I love when we dive into that kind of stuff. We always wind up laughing.
It's almost like we have our own little inside language in a sense
that
we need to explain because we use them so frequently.
Yeah, exactly.
Like today, I feel a little mouchard, and yet everybody knows what that means.
Mouchard, I have a little agita.
Yeah. You know what was really funny to me? And Mike, you were on vacation, but when we covered the Sexiest Man Alive story.
Oh my God.
And
that was
there,
funny.
But we put 4 men up to vote. Paul Rudd, who was actually named.
Yes.
Then Kara and I had our nominees, and then we also nominated.
Of course, we had to put Mike in.
Yeah, and you came in second.
Well, thank you. I felt at a disadvantage only because that was the photo of me without facial hair. So I figured to be on the same level.
It was your baby face, yes.
Yeah, to be on the same level as the winner, if I had a new profile picture with which they should be coming soon, with the facial hair, maybe we'll try again. I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know.
We'll have to see.
It's just really nice, though, that we could genuinely have a lot of fun with each other on and off camera. And that's really special and something that you don't see often in this industry. So it's very cool.
And it's so important to have that chemistry. Even, me having known Kara for several years, I came onto this show 1 year ago, Lisa Marie, not even having met you.
Exactly.
Before.
Yeah,
and yet we clicked.
In October, of course.
Well, right. And yet we clicked. We know all the same people. We have, a lot of the same friends, we realize. So yeah, that tends to help a little bit too.
Absolutely.
Well, Mike, thank you. We'll talk to you in a little bit. The cool thing about co-hosting this show is that we have the privilege of meeting people from all walks of life throughout the state, from chefs to charities and everyone in between. Here is a collection of our favorite lifestyle interviews from the past year.
The other element about Super Bowl that I love is, of course, the food. And I am so excited to have chef, healthy cooking expert, and fantasy football fan, Julie Hartigan, joining us this morning. She is going to share with us some lightened up takes on game day snacks for Super Bowl Sunday. Julie, how are you?
Hi, it's so great to see you, ladies. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to be here. And you know what? Whether you like football, whether you're going to watch a Super Bowl or not, let's admit it, like football food is probably the most fun food out there, right?
Of course.
Yeah, and we could all use a dose of fun right now. So I'm going to share lots of really easy ideas that would be great for Sunday, or honestly, just to liven the weekend up a little bit. So let's just dig right in. To kick things off, pun intended, you could start out with some really fun little mini Mexican layer dips like this. These are no cook. They take no time at all. You basically are just assembling layers. And the trick to lighten this dish up, you're actually using fat-free Greek yogurt in place of the sour cream. You just use a little refried beans, some Greek yogurt, some store-bought guacamole, keep it easy for yourself, salsa, and you're ready to go. And you can serve it with some pretty veggies or with some chips.
You know, we mentioned in your intro that Raza has been named, I mean, across numerous surveys at this point for years now, the best pizza in New York. How does it feel beating those guys across the river that think they're all that?
You know, one of the big things that I believe in is your location doesn't dictate whether your product is good or bad. I don't care where a great pizza is located. That doesn't have anything to do with it. It's ingredients and technique. And, you know, of course it feels great. We have a busy restaurant now. It's all great things, but it's not, you know, that's not my thing.
Yeah.
We really wanted you to like stick it to the New Yorkers. That was
So Salty Paws is an ice cream shop for dogs. We entertain dogs, their families, serve them ice cream, and make them happy. Come on over. We've got 8 flavors. They're all made and ready to be served. We have incredible toppings. We've got dehydrated chicken, cheese and bacon, steak and sweet potato, peanut butter toppings, peanut butter and yogurt toppings. We have more ice cream. On this side, we have dehydrated liver.
Oh, this sounds lovely.
I can't forget sweet potato.
Donna, thank you so much for joining us this morning. This is adorable. I'm going to have to take Rox and go for a trip down to Stone Harbor because this is adorable.
That was so fun.
That was so much fun. We love food here.
We love food, but yeah, well, we have a special birthday happening tomorrow. Kara, happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. So what better way to celebrate Kara's birthday and with a nice bottle of limoncello?
Oh, look at that. My good, this is beautiful. Look at this. Thank you so much.
nice.
What is this? Fabrizia Limoncello.
Yes, yes. So Fabrizia Limoncello Company, they obviously make limoncello, and they also make limoncello infused desserts.
Wow.
We have some here.
What do we have? We have blondies and whoopie pies.
Yeah, they sent sugar cookies. They sent brownies. There's a limoncello pie in a jar that they sent. We're going to have a lot of fun.
I was like, wait, you know, I have to open this right now. I have to at least smell it.
Yeah, exactly. So thank you to Fabrizia for sending all of this. This is amazing product, and we can't wait to dig in.
Yes.
And Mike, are you going to get in your car right now to join us?
I think I may have to, especially with all of the birthday celebrations, and that would keep you warm. A little shot of limoncello.
A little shot of
warm you right
limoncello,
up.
that'll fix you right up. That's a nice little digestivo.
Cap it. Think of your favorite song, and then start shaking and do a little turn.
I was waiting for the dancing. Love it.
There you go.
So excited. Look who is back. It's Lisa Marie and her newborn daughter. So good to see you.
Laura, thank you so much for holding it down. The show has been great. Liana and I, we've been watching every week since we've come home. It's been 2 months, which is really crazy, but I wanted to have Liana on to say hi to everyone.
How perfect for Mother's Day coming up this weekend, and she's here. Look how quiet and how calm she is.
Well, she's milk drunk right now. I made sure to do that so I could get some peace as we do this show here today.
And you're getting her ready to be to her on-air debut.
Lauren, tell us how you were building the Easter Seals Career Pathways Connection program so that it helps New Jersey residents who are deaf throughout the state.
Yes. So our goal is always to continue advocacy and advocating for the rights of the deaf and hard of hearing community and our participants. We work together with the participants and businesses in the community. We help them to see that deaf and hard of hearing individuals are an asset to their organization, to the businesses there.
Ladies, thank you so much. You're all beautiful. I'm so happy that not only are you advocating for the deaf and hard of hearing, but for females as well. I think that's wonderful. Folks who are watching, to learn more about the Easter Seals, you can reach out to them at eastersealsnj.com or call 732-257-6662. And we'll have all that information available for you on njonair.com. Ladies, once again, thank you so much. Have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
That's amazing. So how long does it take for a sculpture like this to come together? And how do you, what do you use as a reference? You know, you said that initial picture was a sketch. You know, how did you kind of put this together?
I start by putting on a lot of Frank Sinatra songs. And I have on a lot of photos you can see in the background. I still have one. I enlarged them life size of Frank. And, you know, I play his music. I play videos of him. I have a TV in here. And so, and then I start an armature, which is like a skeleton and of him. And then I build it up in different materials and then the final clay. And then I start, you know, sculpting away into the clay. See, there's Frank. There's a whole bunch of them in here.
Oh, wow. Wow.
As I've hinted around, if you haven't gotten that, the Kentucky Derby is on Saturday, and I've got my fascinator here. And the only thing bigger than the race and the horses, the hats, of course.
The hats.
And I've been known to wear a hat or two, as you can see.
We are doing a silent auction that's going to go live this weekend with Charity Buzz. You can actually even bid on lunch at Carpaccio and a shopping experience with me in New Jersey at American Dream, where I'm the chief creative officer. So you can spend an afternoon with moi, and we can drink champagne and have lunch, and then go through the garden and the koi ponds over to Saks Fifth Avenue and shop the day away. I will be your personal stylist. These kind of experiences, as well as a day at American Dream. I'm sure you've all seen it, probably driven by it, with the DreamWorks Water Park, the Nickelodeon Universe Park, and then a day in a Jonathan Adler Cabana. So we were really reaching for the idea of what experiences more than kind of items, because it really feels that people want to enjoy great experiences. So also look for the silent auction. You can contribute that way and maybe be a winner and have something wonderful to do.
Yeah, definitely bidding on that shopping experience.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. How do we need that? We're gonna need that experience for sure.
Ready, Car?
Yeah, I'm ready.
3, 2, 1. Woo!
Oh, the balloons were so good from Party in a Box. That was so much fun. What a beautiful piece that she puts together.
Oh yeah, and those trays came in handy for our holiday party.
Yes, they did. Yes,
I'm very
they did.
appreciative of that.
And they were
Thank you.
beautiful. Yeah, we've had some wonderful lifestyle guests on, and you know, some of the charities I know, you know, leading into the holidays, we did like Salvation Army and a couple of the other, Tony's Kitchen over in Montclair. We had some really good ones of just, you know, people who are giving back.
Yeah, exactly. Let's bring on Mike Favetta. Mike, what are your top lifestyle moments from the show?
Lifestyle moments. I mean, there have been many. I really enjoy the ones, especially that I can relate to. So if we have a food guest, a chef, we had Cocktails by Sea. That guest was so phenomenal, dancing around, making cocktails and drinks. And, you know, here we are at 9 o'clock in the morning live, and you already want to drink. So for good reasons, not because it's a fun show, not because it's stressful.
Not because
I want to make that very clear. No. It's actually because it's a fun, festive atmosphere, and it's always nice to take sometimes very hard news and turn it into something a little bit lighter. And I think we do a good job of that show by including those lifestyle guests and featured guests on, and that's what makes it a lot more fun.
I loved the chef from the Feathered Fox too. I don't know why that particular interview stands out to me, but I just remember being really hungry after that.
How about Chef Jesse?
Oh my God, Chef Jesse is his own show.
Exactly. He needs that in 2022.
Yes, he does. He needs his own show. Of course, just good friends of the show. Beth Neidick is always a wonderful guest to have on. Andrew Cotto, we've had on a couple of times.
Julie
Hardigan, we've had on a couple of times. Yeah, so we've really had some, not just some great guests, but some great repeat guests who have, in fact, become friends of the show, friends of ours, who are wonderful experts in their field.
Yeah. David Burke
came on.
David, right in the beginning of the whole thing. I mean, unbelievable guest to have on right out of the gate.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
and that makes it fun for those watching at home, especially to see these, somewhat big names in New Jersey that you see on our show. It makes it more fun. It makes it relatable too, because people like to relate to that.
Hey, we've had John Culinary from HGTV on. I don't know, in sports, have we had any big name sports? Maybe talking sports.
Yeah, I was going to say, you would know.
Yeah, no, I don't think we've had any athletes on. What did you say in the control room? The bull rider. That was really fun.
That was a great one. That was really cool too.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I love, because you never know who it's going to be Friday to Friday, and it's always a mixed bag, and it just makes it so much fun.
Yeah.
And then we had that one guest. He was an older gentleman. He had these, these double entendres. He was speaking in like these, always offering some innuendos with everything he was saying. And I remember
the comedian, yes.
The comedian.
Cracking up. He was all like raw Jersey,
Yes.
And that was really fun, especially for a Friday morning.
Yeah, the comedians, you don't know where you're going to go with them sometimes.
Which is why we're streaming. It works out better.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't get in as much trouble.
Yeah, but you don't know where it's going to go sometimes. And Jimmy,
Jimmy's one of them.
Yeah, and I think that's his name, like the dangerous outlaw.
The Jersey Outlaw.
The Jersey Outlaw.
Jersey Outlaw, yes. No, he is fantastic.
Well, thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike. Yep. All right. Coming up next, we are talking about some of our personal favorite moments from the show. And of course, you can connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We'll keep you updated. Who's going to be on next week? Check us out. Click follow.
What would happen if I had to pick up the phone, call 911 for one of my family members or one of my neighbors? What would I do if no one was on the other end to respond? What if there was no 911? You can be a part of the solution.
Anybody can be a firefighter. Male, female, younger, older.
We have school teachers. We have leaders in business.
It's me, you, anyone that wants to be.
There is no typical firefighter.
Swing the hips.
Oh boy, they weren't kidding. Whew.
You're looking for a gold crown?
Sure. So you say you're helping people through. How are you doing that?
Welcome back to the New Jersey Morning Show, and happy New Year's Eve, everyone.
When you take inventory over the past year, it almost feels like we've lived 5 years in one. I mean, look at our show. Because of the pandemic, we started off hosting from our kitchen tables, then transitioned back into the studio, and then even took the show on the road.
Yeah, that's right. We went to Roselle Park, and while I was unfortunately not here for the live show we did at Meridia on Westfield, I got to experience the best of this tight-knit Union County community.
Today, we are at the beautiful Meridia on Westfield in Roselle Park. We'll learn all about Meridia later on in this show and everything cool happening in Roselle Park. We're so excited.
Exactly. And it's a beautiful, perfect day to kick off the New Jersey Morning Show live on the road.
First ever.
Right?
This is the first time we're meeting in person.
I know. Can you believe that?
I love it, though.
I know.
I'm so happy to be here with you.
You look even better in real life.
I know, you do too. It's going to be so much fun.
Yeah.
But first, we are going to kick it off with a check on the beautiful New Jersey weather with meteorologist Mike Pavetta, who is standing right outside. Hi, Mike.
Hey there, Lisa Marie. We start off a beautiful day. You hear the church bells ringing in the background right here at Meridia on Westfield. In fact, we've got a great start to our Friday.
Talk about why events are so important to you in bringing the community together.
Yeah, so I think that we've really started to target our events, right? Because if you have a million of them, you don't get as much focus. We've really tried to focus on key ones that are important. So you're going to hear from a local artist. We have a really, up and coming art scene in Roselle Park.
Love that.
Yeah, and just like a lot of folks doing really cool stuff from home. Actually, one of the buildings we're doing here, we're going to have a local public art space where people can kind of show their wares. So we have an event, Roselle Park Arts Festival, every year. It's hugely attended. So we do Oktoberfest, which you guys were at.
Yeah.
That was like, so it has nothing to do with Roselle Park culturally. I just lived in Germany for a while, and Oktoberfest is awesome.
You got to bring
It
it
was
here.
awesome.
That's
You
what we
gotta
brought
bring
it
it
here. Yeah.
I lived in Kentucky, and so I brought the Kentucky Derby parties to New Jersey. So yeah, you should bring Oktoberfest here.
Because Kentucky Derby parties are awesome.
Yeah. Mayor, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us, telling us a little bit about the city, the history, and a little bit about what maybe people can do this weekend, or if they're looking to move into the community. Mayor, thank you so much.
Awesome. Thanks for having me,
Thank you
guys.
for making this happen.
Yeah.
We so appreciate it.
Yeah.
So Laura, we are at Meridia on Westfield, and I had the opportunity to speak with the mastermind of this project, George Capadagli. We're going to be showing the full interview on our News 12 Plus special airing this weekend, but we have a little preview.
Oh, nice. Can't wait to see. All right. We're gonna check it out.
We're back here with prominent New Jersey real estate developer George Capadagli, and we're going to learn all about his exciting property here in Roselle Park, Meridia on Westfield. George, thank you so much.
Thank you for coming.
So I want to learn about Meridia in Roselle Park because this building is gorgeous. How did it all come to be?
Well, it started out with a mayor asking us to come here and do a development, and we've subsequently completed this development, and we're on to 2 other developments. The building was designed to make it as a home for people, and that's what's important, as people feel belonging. So we have a state-of-the-art gym, we have terraces, we have working areas that people can actually work and do their communication with their offices. And that was all done way ahead of the COVID, because this building was planned 4 years ago.
What a fun town.
It is. It
Seriously.
is. I know.
Well, I think Rupen could agree. Access to fresh fruits and vegetables, very important. And coming up this weekend, we did an in-depth look at the Roselle Park Farmers Market. Our Cara DeFalco walked around, got to know some of the farms and the food trucks that set up shop there. Let's check out a preview.
One of the best ways to fall for New Jersey is to check out your local farmers market. Here in Roselle Park, farmers and vendors are showcasing the season's best. I am joined by Mayor Signorelli of Roselle Park and, ironically, and I guess conveniently, his mother Antoinette, who runs the farmers market here. Hi. So, guys, tell us a little bit about the farmers market. When did it start?
So I'm happy to tell you about the farmers market. It started about 25 years ago. Wow. My youngest son's now 26 years old, so way back when he was in a carriage, wanted to bring some fresh fruits and vegetables from the Garden State to Roselle Park and improve a little bit of the downtown.
Good job, Mom. Well, the farmers market is a great place to buy ingredients to prep food at home. It's also a great place to grab a bite, a Latin bite. And I am here with my friend Lou Falcon, who is the owner of the Latin Bites food truck, also a staple here at the Roselle Park Farmers Market. Hi, how are you?
Hey, what's up? Glad to be here.
So tell us a little bit about your truck, the kind of food it serves, because you kind of have a dual cuisine going.
Yeah, so first it's a Puerto Rican Cuban food truck. Serve a lot of very super traditional Puerto Rican and Cuban dishes. We don't try to stray away from anything fancy or anything gourmet or try to do any type of fusions. We keep it strictly Puerto Rican, strictly Cuban.
I'm at the Roselle Park Arts Festival, where the community is celebrating creativity in all its forms, not just painting and drawing, but music, dance, and food as well. Pam, you actually started this event. Can you tell me a little bit about how it started and why?
Absolutely. In 2014, I found out that the Montclair Art Museum truck would do free crafts for kids, and I said, come on down. And they said, well, how will we get people there? And I said, well, let's build a little something around it. So we had a very small event at the car show, some crafts, one singer, and that was it. And then it was very popular, so we decided to build it up, and we built it up year after year after year till we have what we have today.
You know, as a borough, you want sort of private citizens to help out and do their part. And Pam's done this like on a hope and a prayer with some assistance from us through her nonprofit, right? And these are the things you want to do. You want to build the framework for awesome constituents like Pam to knock it out of the park, which she has.
And I see we have a lot of, at this point, a lot of activities for kids, different things that folks can do. I mean, how did that all kind of come about? Have you kind of, as you've been going, collected other local artists and people who wanted to help out and put their own creations forward?
Yes, absolutely. The whole idea from the beginning was to have kids literally and adults literally immersed in the arts. And the only way to do that is have them create too. So we've been collecting artists and vendors and crafters from around, and every time I see a good craft, every time I see a good something, I try to bring it in and get the participation going, because that's how you become creative.
I love it. Mayor, thank you so much for joining us and inviting us, and we definitely look forward to enjoying the Oktoberfest here in Roselle Park.
Prost is what they say in German. It's cheers.
Okay.
Prost.
Prost.
That's good enough.
Good enough.
That was so much fun to take the show on the road and to experience, Roselle Park and just kind of the expansion of this whole show, literally from our kitchen tables. The dog is barking in the background. Yeah. You got the baby crying, like trying to figure it all out, to a full-on road production.
It was unbelievable. And don't say unfortunately. You had a very good reason why you couldn't make the live show.
Oh, well, yes. Yeah, I was in Italy for my own company and doing my culinary tour. Yeah, so it wasn't too bad. But I was sorry to miss it. We put a lot of work into that. And we did a great job.
We did a great job. It was so much fun. I look forward to doing that more in 2022.
Yes,
for sure.
Absolutely.
So as we wrap up here, Kara and Mike, I want to get your personal favorite moment on the show in 2021.
Oof.
All right. So I remember that when Laura Jones asked me about how and why the sun sets so early in December and it's always dark. And here I am with this whole like graphic and scheme of like the angle of the sun. And it's like this infinity logo. It's called the analemma. And I'm doing like basically a college lecture here on Friday morning television. And she's like, wow, I get it. It was a nice reassuring fact that, yeah, even though it could be early on a Friday morning, yeah, I could kind of still make sense of some complex and very integrated science concepts, even for a fun morning show. So that was one of my favorite moments.
Yeah, I think for me, I mean, I want to say like the debut of the studio itself, because it was so built up for us, behind the scenes, not necessarily for the audience per se, but we worked so hard to put this together. We wanted it so much. We wanted so much to be together. Yeah. And I think for that moment when we finally, sat down at this desk, launched this thing, the way we had always intended to do it in the first place, that was really special for me. I just, that was like this whole thing just kind of coming together and gelling and being like, yeah, like now we got this.
Yeah, we got it. And that was very gratifying. I guess my favorite is coming back from maternity. I hosted the show with Laura Jones from my kitchen table because we were still locked
down. We were still home.
We were still home. And I brought the baby on.
Yes.
And she didn't cry. She was camera ready. She was looking at the camera and it was fantastic. So that was a really big thrill.
I have to, I haven't had the opportunity to meet your husband, but as far as I can tell, that kid is 110% you, because she is always beautiful. Oh. She is always camera ready. Like, she is a personality.
The personality, yes, but the looks is Joe,
him
120%. I mean, it's his little clone. But talk about living 5 lives in 1 year.
Yeah.
Pregnancy, birth, maternity leave, coming back like nothing ever happened. It's wild how that happens.
And Mike, too, I know we've had your nieces on.
Yeah, I think we did. We showed them. I think I was doing the show from their house one time up in Bergen County, and so they were running across the screen, and we showed some pictures. And it's always fun, obviously, to include family, because it is like a big family here at NJ On Air.
Absolutely. It absolutely is. And you know what I think? I know I said the studio and the coming together, but when we were at home, I think it was so nice to see. I think it was just so relieving for everyone to be like, that's just my dog barking. There's my toddler wandering through. That's my husband. Sorry, hang on. Let me close the door. All of a sudden, everyone's life got very real and out front. And you know, I think it was good for everybody to be like, oh yeah, even these people who are usually shiny and glossy and made up and put together, like, you know, we deal with these things too.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Mike, Happy New Year.
You as well. Happy New Year. I'll see you in 2022.
2022. Yes, absolutely. And to all of our fans, thank you guys so much for watching the show, for supporting us. We really do appreciate it. And we look forward to serving you and entertaining you in 2022 as well. Happy New Year, everyone.